Hello and welcome to episode 2 of what I'm calling Phrase Power. I like the sound of that. It has a nice ring to it. This is a very common English expression when you're trying to come up with a name for something. We say, I like the sound of it, or it has a nice ring to it. So the sound of the words together. Phrase power. Anyway, if I come up with something different or I hear a better name from you out there or anyone else, then maybe I'll change it. But I received a lot of likes and shares, and I was really excited about that, so I get to see just how powerful this kind of teaching is and the fact that you enjoy it so much. So I'm really excited to produce more. So be sure to like down below. Be sure to tell others about this and share it so that I know it's really, really popular and I should make a lot more of these, and I'll be producing them regularly as well. So let's get into today's episode. For today, like the episode 1 that I released a few days ago, I'll be covering just one phrase and focusing on that so you can add that phrase to your active vocabulary. Now, I asked, as I always do, and you can comment below this video if you have specific ideas of phrases that are difficult for you or things that you'd like to learn. So maybe you're watching a TV show and you see a really cool phrase or hear something, but you don't quite know how to pronounce it properly. Please add that in the comments or on our Facebook page as well. And I'll use that as an idea, and it will probably end up or be a part of one of these episodes. Even though I received a lot of great ideas so far, I had a different kind of idea for this episode. So we'll be focusing on one phrase, but I also wanted to go over an important part of English culture and help you practice some of the pronunciation as well. So we get a phrase and pronunciation and culture all in one phrase, and it will be a really great thing for you to practice. So let's get into it. Today's phrase is, does a bear shit in the woods? Does a bear shit in the woods? Now, this is a fantastic but casual phrase. Be careful about using it with the police or your boss or, other people like that. Save that for more kind of polite English for those situations. But the phrase, does a bear shit in the woods? Now, a bear, like a regular, like a bear, a bear shits, like a bear shits in the woods or in a forest. Now, what this expression means is yes, absolutely, definitely yes. That's all it means. But the culture behind the phrase is that it's a sarcastic answer to an obvious question. It's a sarcastic answer to an obvious question. So let's say some young boy walks up to me, or some person that doesn't know basketball very well. But they heard about Michael Jordan from somebody else, and they asked me, hey, was Michael Jordan a great basketball player? Because they don't really know. Now, maybe I can just give them a regular polite answer would be, yes, he was. He was a great basketball player. But part of the culture, especially in America, is this sarcasm, where we're kind of almost making fun of the person that's asking us a question or talking with us. It's not really to be mean, but it's a kind of way of keeping the other person sharp. So this is sarcasm, where we're saying something and the meaning is a little bit different, or it's not exactly a kind of polite, nice thing you can say. So if they say, was Michael Jordan a great basketball player? I can say, yes, he was. Or, does a bear shit in the woods? Does a bear shit in the woods? Now, notice my body language as well. I'm not saying, does a bear shit in the woods? I'm saying, does a bear shit in the woods? Does a bear shit in the woods? So notice how I'm moving. This is my sarcastic tone. The phrase I'm using is sarcastic. The way I'm moving is sarcastic as well. So all of this comes together to tell that person, yes, that's a very obvious answer. So you're asking me a question that has an obvious yes. Does a bear shit in the woods? Does a bear shit in the woods? Now I can put the whole phrase down, does a bear shit in the woods? But listen carefully, as always, to the way it blends together. Does a bear shit in the woods? Does a bear shit in the woods? The shit, the T from shit, it kind of disappears. Does a bear shit in the woods? 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 So practice all of these things, combine them all together, and have someone practice with you. They can ask you some obvious questions like, is this shirt fashionable? And they'll say, does a bear shit in the woods? Meaning, yes, it's a very fashionable shirt that I'm wearing. So maybe that's not the best example because this is definitely not a fashionable shirt. I am not known for being so fashionable. But, or are piano keys black and white? Does a bear shit in the woods? Does a bear shit in the woods? So practice this. You will see this in TV shows and movies a lot, but be careful about using it when you're actually speaking with people. If you're practicing and you're really comfortable with people and they're also sarcastic and you have that relationship with them that's a very personal relationship, feel free to use that and practice that with people. But if it's a job interview and the person says, do you have experience for this job? And you look at him and say, hey, does a bear shit in the woods? You're probably not going to get that job. So be careful about that. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Be able to share this down below. Like this video. Let me know what you think of it. And do let me know other phrases and things that you'd like to learn. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye. To discover more great phrases and learn how to use them automatically without thinking and translating from your own language to English in your head when you speak, click on the button below.